Hi everyone, it's Monica, and welcome back to Tailor-Made Cards for You. Well, with just a few days before Valentine's Day, I thought I would try to sneak in another Valentine's Day card. And I needed to make a card for the design team that I'm on for STAMPlorations, so I decided to go ahead and film my process. Now, as you can see, I have a lot of pink here. So I wanted to see if I can create a mixed media Valentine's Day card because I haven't really gotten down and dirty recently. A lot of my cards have been most of the digitals that I've been creating, but I really wanted to get back to basics. And that's why I decided to use the sentiment stamp that said, "Do more of what you love." Because truly, I am a mixed media girl and I love to get down and dirty. I also wanted to test out my Tim Holtz mixed media mat as well, so I thought this was a good opportunity to do that on camera. So I started out with 3 colors from my Distress Inks and Oxides, and the colors that I'm using are Worn Lipstick, Spun Sugar, and Picked Raspberry. And then I swiped those colors on my mixed media mat and I sprayed it with my spritzer. Now, I'm sure that you've seen this background created many times, but it really is a great background. It's so easy to do. It's just a matter of continuing to put your layers on after each swipe and then drying it in between layers. You want to make sure that you are using colors that are going to complement each other, because when you are mixing your distressed oxides with your distressed inks, you could still get the muddy effect. So if you didn't want to take that chance, just make sure that you work with your distressed oxides and then dry it in between each layer. And then a lot of time when I am creating this type of a background, I do take one of the colors that I've just been working with and I edge up the outside of the cardstock with my blending tool. Now, I was really happy with the way that the mat cleaned up nicely. After I was done adding my cardstock to my ink, all I did was take a rag and wipe it, and it cleaned up really nicely. I didn't even need to add any water. So, so far so good with this media mat. The only problems that I've had with it is when it comes to my filming, and as you can see, I get that bright light glare on my mat. But not everybody, of course, is going to be filming videos. It's just something I need to work with. And I tend to try to do my videos now earlier in the morning to work with the natural sunlight, so I won't have to have that big spotlight on my mat. Okay, so I did have an ulterior motive in using some of these pink colors for my card. And that's because I was really excited to continue to try out these washi tapes that I just recently got. For Christmas, I got a $25 gift card from Amazon, and I wanted to buy something that I wouldn't typically buy. And I found these washi tapes, and they're from Prima Traveler's Journal, but I just love the graphics on them. They're so pretty, and I thought they would be great for some of my mixed media cards. And what I really liked about these washi tapes is they came in different sizes, and I had an idea to be able to not only use my washi tape as a border, but also to add it to some cardstock and then punch it out. So you'll see me do that in just a minute. And then to complement the pink, I just grabbed some of this black washi tape that I had in my stash. Okay, so like I said, the stamp that I'm going to use today is from STAMPlorations, and it says, "Do more of what you love." And before I forget, I wanted to remind you that as a design team member, I am able to offer you my coupon code, which is Stamp Girl Monica. And I believe that gets you an extra 20% off. I have to check that, but I know it definitely gives you a discount. But I'll make sure that I leave it below for you so that way you can reference the code when you go to check out the shop. If you're not familiar with STAMPlorations, she always has a sale. I mean, Sherry is so generous, and she has been great to work with. I've really enjoyed being on her team. So if you haven't checked out STAMPlorations, be sure to give them a look, because there's some wonderful stamp sets out there, and I'm sure you're going to find an awesome deal. I've been a fan of STAMPlorations for a long time, even before I was on the design team. And this is one of the teams that I had as my goal, so I kept stalking the team and joining the challenges. And then I also kind of put a shout out to one of the design team members that I was really interested in being on the design team. And when she had an open call, I applied and I was able to get on the team. And Sherry's great. Like I said, this is a team that I've really enjoyed being on, and it's really laid back, and she's wonderful to work with. So hopefully you guys will help support her shop. Okay, so whenever I am creating a mixed media card and I'm not really sure what other types of layers I'm going to be putting on it, I always like to add some clear embossing powder. And that's to make sure that my ink doesn't smear or run when I start adding some of these other products. So that's just a tip for you. If you are going to be working and creating mixed media cards, you might want to just drop some of your clear embossing powder onto anything that you stamp, so that way if you are adding more layers, you don't have to risk the smear or the smudge. Alright, so another one of the pink products that I decided to add to my card is this metallic texture paste. And it is pink, so it worked perfectly with the design of my card. And I found this stencil in my stash, so it was enough just to create some texture and some more interest on my background without completely taking it over. I've had this texture paste for a while, and it's from Heidi Swapp, and I have to say that I really like it. Even though I've had it for some time, it hasn't dried up on me, and it still has some great consistency. That's one thing that I worry about when I'm working with texture paste, is sometimes it does dry up, but I've had some real success with this Heidi Swapp texture paste, and I've been really happy with it. I think I got it at Tuesday morning, and the color is pink rose. But I'll see if I can find it and link it up for you at the bottom. And then, of course, between each layer of mixed media items that I'm using, I am just grabbing my heating tool to dry it, to make sure that I am not smearing and smudging as I go along. Typically, I don't mind smudging, but when I'm trying to get some sort of design, I want to make sure that I get some nice drying in between each layer. All right, so the next product that I'm using here are Lindsay's Magicals, and you've seen me use these before as well, not in a while, so I decided to pull this out just because I haven't created a mixed media card in some time. And again, this is from Lindsay's Magicals, and what this is a like a pigment powder that you just kind of sprinkle on your card, and then you can spritz it to create some sort of an effect. It also works really cool when you're working with some I want to say like mixed media gel or mixed media paste, because you can add the sprinkles, you can add the powder to your card base, and then you can just smear it along with some of your mixed media items. But in this case, I wanted a more random look, so I went ahead and just spritzed it with my water. Okay, and like I alluded to in the beginning of the video, I did want to use some of that washi tape to punch out some hearts, and this wide washi tape was perfect for that. I was able to add a strip onto my cardstock and then punch out my hearts, and then these will be a nice addition to my card because it kind of ties in with the strip that I have below. And then after I finished punching out my hearts, I went ahead and took out my Distress crayons, which we haven't seen in a while. So like I said, I decided to pull out some toys that I haven't played with in a while. And I just edged up these hearts with the Distress crayon. And as you can see, when I add the Distress crayon, I take my fingers and I just kind of smear it on. Now remember, when you are working with Distress crayons and you are smearing it with your fingers, you may want to wash your fingers before you move on to the next step, because you are going to have some of that black on your fingertips, and if you don't want it all over your white cardstock when you add it to the base of your card, you want to make sure that you start out with clean fingers. And then when I added my hearts, I decided to use some foam tape just to give them a little bit more dimension. So I just tried to figure out exactly where I wanted my hearts to go, and then I added some foam tape, and that pretty much completed the card. So about a week ago, I posted a video, and at the end I did a little survey. So be sure to stick around to the end so you can see if you won my layered Valentine's Day cards. I had 2 of those that I created, and I said that for your participation in my survey, I would give you my cards that I had created in the video. So be sure to check around and then get a hold of me through my Etsy shop, and I'll make sure that I leave the link for you. Alright, so as always, I'll leave a list of all the products that I've used to create the card along with the links to the stores. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And as an extra bonus, I am going to go ahead and give away this card to another person that commented on that video where I did a survey. So be sure to stick around, because not only am I giving away those cards that I created for the layered Valentines, but I'm also going to give away this card as well. All right, everybody, thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you again next time.